This is the bad boy Mowers battle for Atlantis. From the Atlantis resort in the Bahamas, the second-ranked Arizona Wildcats taking on the NC State Wolfpack. This is our third quarterfinal game of the day. Tennessee defeats Purdue in our first battle. Villanova takes care of business and defeats Western Kentucky. So it's time to figure out the third team that will advance to the semifinals of the battle for Atlantis. And with the former Purdue star, Robbie Hummel, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald. So, all right, this is our first chance to see DeAndre Ayton. He's the 7'1" superstar for the first time against his toughest test in NC State. He's doing it home, too.
Yeah, and this is a homecoming game for him. He gets to come home, play in front of friends and family. The former #1 recruit in the class of 2017, off to a great start, 18 and 12 on the season. And we'll see as the competition heats up, we'll see if he is able to keep that going.
The highest ranked recruit to commit to Arizona, and many feel he could be chosen #1 overall in this upcoming draft. But first things first, he gets a tough test against an NC State Wolfpack team that will press. They will try to run this team up and down the floor. So in addition to Ayton, you also know Alonzo Trier, the junior from Seattle, is healthy, is ready to go, active from the start, and making his first start, as well as Dylan Smith, the redshirt sophomore transferred from UNC Asheville. This is a strong starting unit with two 7-footers.
Yeah, I mean, you look at what they've got. There's not many teams, Purdue being one of them, but not many teams that can match their size in the country.
Tallest player in that starting lineup for NC State is 6'8", and that is Leonard Freeman. His game is totally transformed offensively now that he's healthy this season.
Yeah, coming off an injury, you know, it had really kind of struggled for 103 career games coming in, only 6 double-digit scoring efforts, but so far in the year, averaging 16.3 points per game.
Feast week continues, and this is going to be a fun one. #2 Arizona and NC State. Our officials, Mike Stewart, Bert Smith, Lamar Simpson, and away we go. The Wolfpack with the basketball to begin, and into the hands of Markel Johnson. He's the point guard. It's Freeman up top that sets the screen and rolls, and he took an extra step.
And he did, but if you look at what Arizona did right there, that is textbook defensively. I mean, the rotations were right there, and it's not going to be an easy night for NC State. On the offensive end, you just look at the weapons Arizona has, both offensively and defensively. They're incredibly talented.
Preseason #3, up to #2, just a week and a half into the season. And this is Alonzo Trier. Foul on Alaric Freeman. Sean Miller, the reigning Pac-12 Coach of the Year, the 4th time he has reeled in a conference Coach of the Year honor. You were recruited by this man. He's got a great team this year, maybe the best that he's had here in Arizona.
Yeah, and he's done a great job. He's put together a roster with so much talent. I mean, you look at every position, and they're going to have guys that don't play a lot of minutes tonight that could play for any other team in the country.
Dusan Ristic, cross-court feed, and this is Dylan Smith, his first look in his first start since transferring from UNC Asheville. NC State's going to run.
No, they are, and that's kind of their identity. They're going to press you, and they're going to get out in the open court, and they have the athletes to do that. So they're really going to try to push the tempo, and we'll have to see how Arizona responds to that.
This is Smith down the alley. First basket for the Wildcats. There's Freeman. No relation to Leonard Freeman.
Yeah, and Al Freeman, the transfer from Baylor, wasting no time there, getting the ball in the open court. And Arizona has to be aware at all times. NC State looking to push the pace. Not a team that's going to slow it down and wait for the half court. Great job there by Al Freeman.
Oh, that's a forte, the press you mentioned, of first-year head coach Kevin Keats. His teams will run, and they'll do it on both sides of the floor. How about a 3-on-none? Al Freeman.
Well, what a great start for NC State. I think you're playing against a team that's ranked #2 in the country, and you throw the first punch. And that is so important in a game like this.
And it's worth noting, not just from the Arizona standpoint, both of these teams are facing their toughest test of the year so far.
Yeah, this is their first test of the season, but it's going to be one of those things where they maybe feel each other out. It's your first game. You finally get down to the Bahamas. It's been a long trip. You're in a different setting than you're used to. You're not in a typical arena. So there might be a little feeling out process here as the game gets going.
Yeah, you're right. We're inside the Grand Ballroom, the Imperial Arena for the battle for Atlantis. This is our third quarterfinal match. Back-to-back turnovers on either side. Boy, Kevin Keats, he brings some energy, intensity. That wears off on his players instantaneously.
No, it for sure does. And I think in just talking to him, you can sense the excitement he has about being the head coach at NC State. And he's a guy, I thought it was interesting in talking to him at practice. He had to re-recruit most of his team. He was not sure who was going to be here. He did a good job, got a lot of guys that end up coming back, a few left, then went to the grad transfer market, and he's put together a squad that he feels like can play the way he wants to play.
Now, we'll touch on this as we go, but this player said he commanded our attention. We reciprocated that with the respect, and it's helped a 4-0 start for NC State. Foul whistled on Leonard Freeman. Perhaps the best example of that. Freeman is ready to play for Kevin Keats in his final season in Raleigh.
Yeah, and he, you look at the improvements he's made too this year. I mean, he has really bought in and been a guy that's seen significant improvement.
All right, so here is he has got a complete game.
Yeah, that's just your 7'2" center jab stepping and looking a guy down as he knocks down the 15-footer. But that's why he's the #1 player in the country coming into this season. I mean, as a recruit, he has so many tools. He's not your typical plotting 7-foot center. I mean, he's a guy under that Joel Embiid model where he can dribble, pass, and shoot.
Sam Hunt from the corner.
Good offense there by NC State. A little dribble penetration on the baseline. Sam Hunt does a great job of getting to the corner, ready to shoot, and knocks it down.
And he's whistled for the foul at half court, so that is his first. So pace-wise, what are we going to see as this game moves along?
In terms of what?
The pace of this one for NC State?
No, I think that as the game goes along, you're going to see they're going to want to press. They're going to want to get out in the open court. They're going to try to generate steals. And I think they're going to try to push the tempo. And we've seen them do that so far.
3-point advantage for the Wolfpack. Jackson Parker Cartwright finds Trier. That is a rare miss for the junior from Washington to start the year.
He has gotten off to a great start, and I think if you watch them play at all, he's been so efficient. That's a great look for him. As we see Dusan Ristic with a nice little jump hook, and I think he's a guy that just kind of floats under the radar. He doesn't get a lot of credit because of the star power on this team, but he is more than capable of scoring that basketball.
Alaric Freeman, no. Underneath, Omer Yurtseven into the game for the first time. And a whistle takes us to a timeout. First foul on Ristic. Great pace, great matchup, and we just started. You are watching Feast Week. Third quarterfinal of the Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis. And NC State with the edge over the second-ranked Wildcats. All right, DeAndre Ayton, he's from Nassau. He is home. And soon to join a list of others from the Bahamas to eventually make it to the NBA. Buddy Hield, a great career at Oklahoma. Rick Fox, Michael Thompson as well. Ayton is bound to join this list sooner or later.
No, you're exactly right. And I think as you look at him as a prospect, he's a guy that has NBA front offices salivating. I mean, he's a guy, he gets done on the defensive end. He's a good offensive player. He's got a lot of skills and a lot of tools that he can work with. And we saw earlier in today's game, it was Tennessee-Purdue. Isaac Haas, same size, but completely different player. I mean, DeAndre Ayton, he's going to get up and down the floor. He's going to block shots, protect the rim. He's a guy that has a great chance to go #1 in this upcoming draft.
We were talking to Coach Miller about that, not just the talent, but how about the IQ as well? He's just way ahead of the curve.
Yeah, no, and I think just in talking to him and talking to people around Arizona, they think he's the best freshman they've ever had. And you think about guys they brought in, whether it's Gilbert Arenas or Andre Iguodala, Mike Bibby, you could put together an all-star team of Arizona players. So it's quite the compliment to him, but he's proven it thus far throughout the season.
Well, Miller pretty much challenged us. Like, yeah, go ahead, find somebody else who is at the IQ.
Sure. You know, to me, this is the first time I've seen Alonzo Trier play where he's been a little flustered. He hasn't made the best decisions. He's turned the ball over twice now, and he's just been so efficient. Have to keep an eye on that as this game progresses, see if he can get a bucket, get himself going here.
Yeah. Trier is on the ball, 35 in the Navy. 28, 30, and 32 points the first 3 games for Trier. Braxton Beverly, though, has the triple before Trier.
Yeah, and you know, that's his reputation. He's a guy that has come in, and unfortunately we know him for what happened with the NCAA in the last month or so, but as a high school player, he has a rep as a big-time shooter. And right there, Arizona just not close enough to contest his jump shot.
Granted the waiver to play this year, left Ohio State when Thad Matta stepped away from the program over the summer. Al Freeman adds a lot to this NC State team this year. Good pass down low. There's Yurt 7.
Yeah, he did his work early right there. He got DeAndre Ayton deep, and he was able to post up, make a quick, decisive move, and scores the ball with his left hand.
There's one of the other freshmen, Ira Lee from Los Angeles. Alex Barcelo fouled, and the first on Beverly. Got DeAndre Ayton. We've got Dusan Ristic. How about the big fella off the court? The size off the court.
There's 7-footers everywhere in here, Kevin. They are all over the place here at the Atlantis.
So Sharif O'Neal is Shaq's son, and he is committed to Arizona.
Good player. Really, really skilled. I mean, you think of Shaq and you think of a dominant big man. But his son, he's got some game to him. He can play in the perimeter. He can shoot the basketball. Good athlete. Going to be a good player in college.
He's got a little face-up game, too.
Yes, he does.
This is Ayton at the top of the key. He is not afraid to take that 3 either. Sean Miller wants him to from time to time. Yurt 7 with a tall task. And Ayton dribbled it off his foot, so NC State with the basketball.
Well, Kevin Keats has to be just thrilled with his team's start here. They're competing, they're playing hard. Defensively, they're doing a great job of not giving Arizona any open looks. And the Wildcats have struggled here. It's one of those deals that when it's your first time playing a major competition, there is such an adjustment from playing in those non-conference games at the start of the season, and then when you get into playing power conference teams, the competition ramps up.
Yeah, neither team has faced the prowess that they are facing tonight. And Beverly has his second triple. Timeout, Arizona. Wolfpack have opened up a 9-point lead thanks to a 7-0 run.
We'll take a look here. Johnson comes off the pick and roll. Yurt 7 sucks that defense in, screens Barcelo. And Braxton Beverly making his presence felt early on in this basketball game.
That's what Kevin Keats said. He adds that extra shot we need off the bench. Now, he missed the first 2 games. That was due to the NCAA ineligibility, and just before their game against Bryant on the 14th, NCAA came back and said, we are granting the waiver, eligible to play immediately. Remember, initially signed to play at Ohio State, left in June when Thad Matta stepped away from the program. The NCAA ruled that, well, that's a transfer. That means he has to sit out for a year, but the waiver was granted.
And to me, I just don't understand. I'm glad that the right decision was made, that he should be allowed to play. To me, I don't understand why it has to be a public outcry in order for this decision to be made. It is a common sense decision.
Oh, the timing too, missed 2 games. In transition, this is Abdul Malik Abu in his first game after missing the first 4 with an injury. So NC State's ready to face Bryant on the 14th last week. He had to jet over to the arena. He wasn't aware until, what, a couple hours beforehand. The embrace with Kevin Keats, they didn't have his jersey ready. They had to hang it up just while he was arriving.
Yeah, it's good to see him get to play because, like I said before, it's a common sense decision by the NCAA. And he's a guy that can help. He gives them another body. He gives them another guard so they can press. He's shown tonight he can knock down jump shots. He's a guy that's really going to help him. And he understands how to play too, Kevin.
Oh, it took 3 appeals. The NC State Athletic Department, give them credit. They found some examples. Passed it over to the NCAA that said, hey, in these cases, you allowed that player to play. And that helped the initial reversal of the call. Here's the point guard you got your eye on. Jackson Parker Cartwright, the senior. He's now running the show this year.
And Kevin Keith isn't going to like that. That's a complete blow by there on Braxton Beverly. And the help defense, you know, it's hard to be there when a defender is beat that badly.
Freeman splits through 2, and he's down the lane.
Oh, what an athletic finish there by Al Freeman. And he's done it at this level. You know, he comes from Baylor. He's a guy that's averaged double digits in a major conference. Actually, the defending champion of this event. Won it with Baylor last year. He's got an experience of being a champion in the Bahamas.
He was scanning the list of schools he was thinking about transferring to and said, well, they're back in Atlantis. Good hit. And it's Parker Cartwright again with 4.
Well, for him, this is really his first opportunity to lead the team. You know, he has been in a program that's given you guys that have been great point guards. You know, T.J. McConnell, Kadeem Allen. And speaking of point guards, Parker Jackson Cartwright, uncontested to the rim. Keats won't like that, but right back at you. Al Freeman elevating over Dusan Ristic and finishing at the rim. The pace of this game to me, Kevin, it's been interesting to see. You know, I think both teams want to play fast, but NC State has sped up Arizona. They've been able to get them to play faster than they want to, and it's caused turnovers. It's been tough on them.
That may stay here with NC State. Ayton was reaching down, and the basketball rolls right to Sean Miller. How can they sustain it against this stout Miller team?
Well, that's the thing, and you just have to be solid. You can't turn the ball over. You can't take bad shots. Those things lead to runouts and get really good teams going. And so far, they've been good. They've gotten good shots. They haven't turned the basketball over in situations where they can get runouts.
About 4 Arizona turnovers, none for NC State. There's Ayton.
And they've done a good job on not turning the ball over all year. You know, they're only averaging 9 turnovers a game. That's a big-time pass right there.
Randolph sets his feet and was strong. One of the 5 in that 2017 freshman class. Parker Cartwright was absorbing the contact, and Ayton wanted the roll, but he's got 2 free throws, and we come back.
And that's the thing for Arizona. Sometimes this season, their best offense is going to be a missed shot. But so far, it's been the Wolfpack over the Wildcats.
2 quarterfinal matchups in the books at the battle for Atlantis. How about Tennessee with the, you could call it an upset over Purdue. This game goes to overtime. Grant Williams, Admiral Schofield, that duo was nice today for Tennessee.
And Grant Williams was a man in overtime, getting it done in the post, on the perimeter. He had a great game.
How about Jalen Brunson for Villanova, the top 5 ranked Villanova squad takes care of Western Kentucky, so those 2 teams are into the semifinals. That game is 12:30 on ESPN tomorrow, with the second semifinal to follow at 3 Eastern. So, and it's going to be either Arizona or NC State. And then our final matchup today is Northern Iowa and SMU. Big Shaq. Oh, he's enjoying it. He knows where the camera is.
Yes, he does. He's a pro.
We got DeAndre Ayton, Dusan Ristic, a couple 7-footers. You got room for one more out there for Sean Miller?
I'm sure he'd take Shaq. I think that's a guy that you'd probably take on your team, regardless of how many 7-footers you have.
Shaquille O'Neal's son, Sharif O'Neal, commit to Arizona, class of 2018.
Look at the pace.
This is Freeman, and he stumbles. Trier, Randolph running with him, Johnson fouls.
And those are the types of turnovers that I talked about you cannot have. I mean, those are the ones that get Arizona going in transition, and with the type of team they've got, it's going to be a track meet. So if they do turn the ball over, it can't be live ball turnovers like that. So far, doing a good job. They've been the only team today in this field that's got a positive assist to turnover ratio so far.
Ayton, look out when he's skying to the rim. Johnson backs it out, the sophomore from Cleveland. Dorn has gotten off to a great start. Shot blocked away. Ayton is running. Stays here. And a little eager that time, he was right there.
But, you know, the fact that you could throw the ball in transition ahead to your center like that is just, I mean, it's mind-boggling. He's not a guy that we've seen in college basketball. His skill set is, you know, it's incredible to see in person.
Remember his name, Marvin Bagley III, perhaps Michael Porter Jr. One of those names may be called #1 overall next June. After the Misters, NC State in rhythm. And that time Sam Hunt is hit on the way up and has 3.
And that's a bad foul there by Dylan Smith. I mean, NC State struggling to score the last 2 minutes. Arizona's ramped up their defensive intensity. And you're gonna get this guy Sam Hunt at the line and give him a chance for 3 free ones.
Now, if you're part of Sam Hunt's free throw shooting group in practice, you're not going to lose. 94% from the stripe a year ago.
Yeah, he has shown that he can knock these down at an incredibly high rate. It's not a good foul there for Arizona.
And you mentioned a player like Al Freeman, transfer. Sam Hunt comes in from North Carolina A&T. A couple of these transfers are really going to buoy North Carolina State this year in the ACC.
Yeah, and the good thing is, too, they're one-year guys. So Keats can have them kind of sustain the program here over the year, and then he's free to go out and recruit, and they don't tie up a scholarship, all while helping his team this season. So really a great job, and we talked about this. He had to recruit his own guys, but then he also went out and got some guys, and he said, I'm not getting guys that are not high-character, low-maintenance dudes. And he's been out there, he's gone out there and gotten 2 guys. Oh, and they call a foul there. That was pretty good defense. But he's gotten guys that have been able to come in here and help his team, and all while sustaining their culture.
No, Robbie, they whistle Omer Yurtseven. That is the second foul. You see him, number 14 in the white.
He's had some issues with foul trouble, and that's something that he's had a hard time staying out of. He's a guy that they're going to need tonight. They need his body.
He is 7 foot. The third 7-footer in this game. So Sean Miller's team in the bonus. They've got free throws. We haven't hit the midway mark of the first half yet. That's another rebound for Ayton. 3 double-doubles to start the year. Good find inside. There's Keanu Pinder, the senior, off the bench.
Yeah, Pinder's a guy that you just want on your team. You know, he's an energy guy, defensive player, scores off dunk downs and offensive rebounds, and right there's a little bit of right place, right time. Good find. And Pinder's in the scorebook.
NC State was up by as much as 9. Ayton jars that free. Long wingspan. Ayton steps out. Rebound down to Torin Dorn. He'll take that 3 from time to time.
No doubt, it's going to be there all night because you can't switch on him. You know, you got a hard head. He's going to get that shot. It's just it's a defensive nightmare. We see Parker Jackson Cartwright. Nice little left-handed pass right to Keanu Pinder. And that's really what they do. You know, they're going to get out in transition. They've got a team that can run, and they are at their best when they are on the move, looking for their bigs.
You mentioned that term a couple times, just defensive nightmare. Yeah. Not even Ayton, but plenty of these Wildcats The talk is there, this is a championship team. Why this year are we hearing that a bit more for Arizona? Always a stout team. This year there's a little more of that. Yeah,
and I think you look at their squad, you have Alonzo Trier averaging 30 points a game, and he's doing it in an efficient manner. You have a guy like DeAndre Ayton, just a physical presence.
Oh, shot blocked by your 7.
Yeah, and I think with those two guys, they understand we need to play off each other because it makes life for us easier. You know, they're not selfish. They're understanding that if we play together, we're going to have so much more success. And you put a lot of pieces around them. I mean, Emmanuel Acott, Dusan Ristic, Alex Barcelo's got off to a great start, as is Ira Lee. They've got a lot of pieces that can hurt you.
Emmanuel Acott with that block. He started the first few games. Now coming off the bench today. Sean Miller has that luxury.
And he's a guy that can guard 4 positions. I mean, from the offensive end, he's versatile. Defensively, he's also versatile. Just a guy, reclassified. He's young, but incredibly talented.
First big test for both of these teams. Quarterfinals of the battle for Atlantis. Beverly, nice touch. And the freshman with a quick 8 points in the first half.
Well, taking advantage of the switch there and with a nice little float game over the outstretched arm of DeAndre Ayton, he's really come to play. And you know, we've heard about him. You know he's a big-time shooter, but right there showing his ability to get in the lane.
Ayton from the stripe again. Second time he's taken that shot, misses this. Ayton with 4. Wolfpack with the lead.
Good pass.
That's a boo. Your 7 had it blocked. It looked like Ayton caught a piece of it.
Just his size impacts the game so much. I mean, NC State had a layup at the rim right there. Ayton stays in the play, able to get the steal.
Oh, there's the pass from Abdul Malik Abu.
Right, and your 7 didn't catch the ball cleanly, so he wasn't able to go right up with it. But Ayton is just so big, and you know, you look at what he can bring to the table on a shot blocking presence.
First foul on Abu. Grew up right here in Nassau.
How cool is it that he gets to come home and play? You know, I mean, it's a great coincidence for one, but awesome that he gets to come home and play in front of his friends and family. 500 supposedly in attendance tonight in the arena.
Just for him. That's one cheering session.
Yeah.
You bring up a good point. Ayton, he commit in 2016. Arizona knew it was in this tournament 3 years prior. You're at 7. That's a shot that Kevin Keats is going to want the 7-footer to hit. And he follows it right back.
Well, you know, if you can't succeed with the jump shot, why not just dunk basketball? I didn't think your 7 was ready to catch the ball the first time, but gets his rebound, sticks with it, and able to send it home for the jam.
Sophomore from Turkey.
I'm really impressed, though, with NC State. You know, they have not backed down to this Arizona team as we see DeAndre Ayton knock down the 3. Sometimes when you see these teams, though, take on number 1, number 2 ranked teams, they're timid. They're not ready to see that kind of play. But that hasn't been the case for NC State tonight.
No question, not the case for your 7 for Beverly. Nice duo for the pack.
Well, who says big men have to be traditional? You're 7 with the finish, and on the other end, DeAndre Ayton knocking down the 3. Well, Alonzo Trier coming into this game as the leading scorer in the country, but has gotten off to a little bit of a tough start. Turned the ball over a couple times, had some shots rim in and out, unable to finish here at the rim. He's a guy that needs to get going for this Arizona team, but credit to them, only down 3. But man, a little surprising here, Kevin. He's been so efficient. I mean, you see the way he's played this season. He's been a guy that's made the right play so often. And tonight, just a little flustered.
Preseason All-American. Not just scoring 30 a game. How about the last time out against Cal State Bakersfield? He scored 28, took 9 shots.
Yeah, I mean, he's been so efficient.
What have you liked about the Wolfpack's defensive effort so far against him?
Well, I think they've had a body on him all night. They've not let him get any open looks. But you know, they just made life tough on him. They've kind of sped him up a little bit with their press. He's made a couple bad decisions. Now he's also had some shots rim out, and he's a guy that can make tough shots. And really, you look at this NC State team, and their bench has come to play. And they got 13 bench points to Arizona's 2. And maybe as the game started, we thought that would be a strength of Arizona. You look at who they bring off the pine. And really, NC State, their bench has come to play tonight.
Well, remember Abdul Malik Abu, the senior.
Yeah, and he
active.
makes a difference. I mean, he's a guy that last season averaged almost 12 points and 7 rebounds a game. And he's so athletic, and he's a guy that's been through it. He's played in the ACC. He comes back, he's given them some good minutes. But really, so far, NC State has played a great game here. They've slowed the game down. They haven't let Arizona get out in transition. Their press has been effective. Their pressure has been effective.
Boy, it's hard to rattle that point guard, Parker Jackson Cartwright. In transition, Johnson almost ripped the basket down.
So we saw him in warm-ups. He is more than capable of tearing that rim off. Right there. He goes upstairs. Nice play by Alonzo Trier of not giving up the dunk. Make him earn it at the line, but man, Markelle can fly.
Coming into your living room. NC State already 6 of 8 from the stripe.
The announcer's jinx.
I thought I was going to get away with it. Not let me. Alex Barcelo. Here's Ayton from one side of the court to the other. You gotta keep an eye out for the 7'1" superstar back at the stripe.
Well, you gotta check him out, and it's so much easier said than done. Alex Barcelo, good look, but DeAndre Ayton right there to clean it up. And NC State kind of falls asleep on the box out. They'll have a chance to make it a 3-point play at the line right here.
Keep bringing up the nightmare theme that you alluded to earlier. 2 fouls on Omer Yurtseven. Remember Leonard Freeman. He is on the bench with 2 fouls.
Sure.
And doesn't get much taller than that for NC State.
It's going to be tough for them. They're going to have to play through some foul trouble here. For Arizona, they've got Alonzo Trier on the bench. I'd like to see them play through DeAndre Ayton. He's got it going right now.
Yurtseven follows up to Freeman. Head fake, no. Yurtseven does that a lot. He'll tip it back, keeps it alive. And that's another 30-second shot clock. Freeman wants it. Oh, Boo's got the mismatch.
He does. NC State's got to recognize it. Oh, got him in the air.
Yurtseven.
Well, Brandon Randolph there is the backside help, and he falls asleep. Nobody there to contest Omer Yurtseven or even have a body on him. You cannot let the 7-foot center roll through the lane without a touch. Got to be physical with him there.
This half is big for his confidence, huh?
No doubt. And I think, you look at last year, coming into last season, he had some NBA aspirations. And he's a guy that many people thought was going to be an impact player for this NC State team. He's never gotten a rhythm.
Abu whistled for the foul, and now that is his second.
Well, we see Yurtseven roll to the rim. And Brandon Randolph's supposed to be the guy there defending that pass, and he is nowhere to be found.
Yurtseven from Turkey. He arrives in Raleigh. NCAA handed him a 9-game suspension. Played for a professional team in Turkey.
And it just kind of broke up his season. And this is, like you said, Kevin, a nightmare situation for them right now because Abu has gone to the bench with 2 fouls. And now Freeman's going to come back in for Yurtseven, but Torin Dorn's going to have to play the 4. And he's going to have to go against a guy in Ira Lee that has just been a monster from an energy and rebounding standpoint.
Yep, Lee is one of the handful of top 100 recruits that Arizona brought in. Sean Miller is a loaded team, and they've got the ball right back.
And that's one of those things where that's a good idea by Markel Johnson. He's trying to push the pace, making that advanced pass up the floor. But it's just poor execution. And it's one of those deals where that's what Kevin Keats is preaching to his team. We have to play with pace. We want you to throw the ball ahead. And it's one of those things where that puts pressure on the defense.
So DeAndre Ayton has the last 9 points for Arizona. You think they're going back to him?
They should. I mean, he has been a dominant big in this game.
Jackson Cartwright, he's such a good distributor. People forget that he is great around the rim with a nice touch of the shot. Just couldn't get that one to fall. Beverly with 8 first-half points, the freshman in just his 3rd game.
How about this defensive intensity for Arizona?
Into the corner, catch and shoot for Dorn.
And that's just a great pass there from Markel Johnson. I mean, he looks off the defense, looks like he's throwing it back, really with the no-look pass to the corner. And again, NC State with the answer. Every time you think Arizona's making a run, going to take the lead, NC State is punched right back.
There's a jab. DeAndre Ayton, he has 14. Barton, he has 16 today with that bucket. Dorn for a second 3. He finds the soft spot.
Hey, well, when it's your day, it's your day. And Dorn has back-to-back 3s. They count the same. It wasn't the prettiest, Kevin, but it did go down.
NC State up 7. 3rd quarter final. Face is up on Freeman. He's been strong on a few shots. NC State will run up and down the floor. That is a signature of Kevin Keats' teams. Last year, UNC Wilmington, where Keats was the head coach. Highest tempo in that league. Freeman caught. 6 to shoot. Beverly hoists. Arizona ball. Wolfpack have the lead. Torrin Dorn is hitting the shots.
Well, Torrin Dorn coming out. They might not be pretty, but they're going down the night.
All right, tonight on ESPN2, that's at 10 Eastern, the championship game of the Maui Jim Maui Invitational. Always a terrific field. We got 2 terrific teams. It's Wichita State and it's Notre Dame. That's a top 15 matchup. Bonzie Colson he's an athletic freak, and the preseason player of the year in the ACC. Can do it on both sides of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about the definition of an undersized four-man. He's a guy that just goes to work. I mean, only 6'5", 6'6", but gets the job done. I mean, just a rebounding machine. And Mike Bray has done such a good job with his program. You know, had some NCAA tournament success. They've been a force in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
All right, Alonzo Trier, the junior superstar, he's a preseason All-American. No points.
Yeah, and that's been probably the most surprising thing I've seen all day. I mean, just coming into this game, he was operating at such an efficient level. And the one thing I will say about him is he's never been somebody that's forced the action. He's let it come to him. So we'll see, does Sean Miller draw something up here for him to get going? And it looks like he tried to drop a backdoor play, but good defense there by the Wolfpack.
You like the way they play defensively so far.
Yeah, I mean, they have given up nothing easy. Their press has sped this Arizona team up. And that, right there, that's a contested 3.
Oh, Jackson Cartwright with 1 on the shot clock. You do all that on defense, and Arizona still beats you.
Yeah, that's tough. And just a big-time shot there by Parker Jackson Cartwright.
That's a good 3-point shooting team. There's Dorn. He has a couple triples. Here comes Jackson Cartwright. Foot on the gas to Barcelo. And Ristich follows.
Well, Parker Jackson Cartwright pushing the tempo there. And NC State doesn't find Ristich. And he's able to run the floor and get that rebound.
Stays here. And now can the Wolfpack respond to this run? Exhausted energy for 35 seconds here, Robbie.
Yeah, the pace has certainly picked up. But what a shot from Parker Jackson Cartwright. knocking it down at the shot clock buzzer. And he knows that was maybe lucky.
29 seconds of D.
You know, with this Arizona team, it is so hard for these NC State guards to get in the paint because you know these bigs are roaming and are able to block shots and contest shots.
Trier, Ristich follows, foul underneath. And looks like free throws coming for the Wildcats.
And Arizona has cranked it up on the offensive end, rebounding the basketball. Both these bigs crashing the glass, and with this undersized NC State lineup, you know, they're in foul trouble. It's going to be really difficult for them to keep these bigs from getting multiple offensive rebounds on a possession.
Well, you bring up a good point. Teams had to play you and Jawan Johnson that way. What do you have to do then against 2 7-footers on both sides of the floor?
And with us, the rebounding wasn't the issue. You were worried about us shooting the basketball. But with these guys, you know, checking out is a physical part of the game, and that's a great pass by Martell Johnson. But you've got to, with these guys, you've almost got to maybe face guard them and block them out and just say, my man is not getting the rebound. I might not get it, but my man's not getting it either. And that's a tough deal when you've got Ayton and Ristich.
Here is the Serbian. Good touch around the rim. He has 6 points.
And he's a guy that just doesn't get the credit he deserves.
Going back the other way.
And I think we've got a coach's box warning there for Sean Miller. That is a new rule here. That line is 10 feet farther, but the officials are gonna enforce that a little tighter than they have in the past. And we saw it earlier in the day. Rick Stansbury teed up.
Trier swerves around Freeman that time.
He is on the board, and maybe just seeing that ball go through the rim is going to get him going. But just like that, Arizona has their first lead. And they have really ramped it up defensively, Kevin.
Back-to-back buckets for Freeman plus the foul.
And if you're Kevin Keats, that is exactly what you want to see. Arizona's making their run. How do we respond? How are our young guys coming at me? And Braxton Beverly drives the baseline and just makes a phenomenal pass there to Leonard Freeman. And he finishes through the contact and can go to the line for the three-point play.
Beverly has been superb in this first half. The freshman from Kentucky. Remember, the saga started at Ohio State, joins NC State, finally cleared, granted a waiver last week to play. Freeman gives the Wolfpack a 1-point advantage, approaching halftime. This has been a terrific first half for both teams. Freeman's making Trier work.
Yeah, he is. They've been in his grill all day. Nothing easy for Alonzo Trier. I think we're going to see a little ISO action here. Nope, actually going to be a little pick and roll here with DeAndre Ayton.
Trier on the drive.
And I think Leonard Freeman has a good case right there, because Alonzo Trier went in there and completely held him off. Take another look.
There it is.
He drives in the paint, and yeah, he uses his off arm. That should have been an offensive foul.
And that was Torrin Dorn, who went skying up, and Freeman right there to present the case. Just a little bit off. We mentioned Trier missing a three earlier is rare, especially at the free throw line as well. He is such a pure shooter. You saw earlier a Jerry West watch list.
No, he's been so good, and I guess you can make the argument or even ask the question, does this low ceiling and strange shooting background make a difference? And we saw in the Purdue-Tennessee game, both teams struggling to make shots throughout that game. Alonzo struggled here today.
With 3 seconds, Freeman into the paint. Halftime at the Imperial Arena. Tied up at 40. 4 ties, 3 lead changes in the last 100 seconds of the half. DeAndre Ayton with 16 to lead the way for the Wildcats. Halftime. Step aside inside the Imperial Arena. Halftime in the Bahamas. Second half is coming up next. DeAndre Ayton, it's his return back home to Nassau.
Hey, I'm DeAndre Ayton, Island boy, happy to be back home, and my team and I are on our way to help some kids play ball. Yeah!
It's solid eye contact with the camera. He's good.
I'm DeAndre Ayton, I'm from Nassau, Bahamas.
Yeah.
Well, it's tough, especially the practices every day. Not every day, but yeah, it's barely any day off. It's a big sacrifice, especially with schoolwork.
You go on one and done, Paul.
That's the plan. Well, that's a wrap for Mount Carmel. You know, it was a great time, giving back to these kids, and that's about it.
The youngsters from Mount Carmel Primary School asking questions of future lottery pick. DeAndre Ayton is back home, and his team is back out there in the second half when we come back. NC State playing tough, tied with the number 2 ranked team in the country, Arizona, at halftime. Earlier today, our 2 other quarterfinal matchups, Tennessee taking down Purdue. Grant Williams was excellent, and Tennessee faces Villanova, the 5th-ranked Wildcats, tomorrow. That is on ESPN, starting at 12:30 Eastern, and we'll find out our 3rd semifinal participant in just a bit. Arizona, led by DeAndre Ayton, 16 points and 7 rebounds for the highest-ranked Arizona commit in school history. Maybe his 4th straight double-double to start the year. Second half next. We are tied at 40. NC State pushing the number 2 ranked team in the country, Arizona. Wildcats took a little longer than usual to come out from the halftime locker room, so we'll see what happens. Robbie Hummel is here with Kevin Fitzgerald. Thank you for joining us. So it was the big man inside. We know DeAndre Ayton, but also Dusan Ristic was very good on the interior for Arizona.
Yeah, well, those guys combined for 26 points and 12 rebounds, and really picking up the slack for Alonzo Trier, who, as the nation's leading scorer, only has 2 points at halftime. But Arizona really, to me, throughout this game, their best offensive points has been just getting the ball on the rim and letting these big guys go get it. And that's a luxury that Sean Miller's team has. They can score in a variety of ways, but they've done a great job kind of staying with it on the glass. And luckily for Sean Miller, he's got 2 guys that are more than capable down there of scoring the basketball.
Ristic with the 10 points as well. You mentioned the 12 combined rebounds. Going to work on Leonard Freeman. That's going to be a fun matchup to watch the rest of the way. Got 2 7-footers on the floor. One of 8 Division I teams in the country that have used 2 7-footers on the floor this season. And we know Ayton is the superstar, but Ristic, remember, he's the senior and is really that teammate that everybody wants. Sean Miller likes what he does on and off the floor as well.
Well, you have to, because he's kind of an unsung hero for this team. He's a guy that doesn't get a ton of credit, but you know what? He could play on almost any team in the country. And for this Arizona squad, he's kind of relegated to the background. But he's done a good job tonight. He's gotten the ball in the post. He's scored off rebounds. He's a guy that when things aren't going well on the perimeter, he can clean things up and keep them in games.
And look, we just highlighted Ayton and Ristic. I mean, they're taking the shots. So, okay, 3 points for Alonzo Trier, but is there something? Is it the setting? Is it a really stout defense? What do you think?
No, I mean, he's had a tough night shooting the basketball, but NC State has done a good job of staying with him. He hasn't had any easy looks. He's had a body on him all night. They've been physical with him. The press has kind of sped him up, I think, and it's been the first time all year that I've seen that happen to him. He's such a poised player. We'll see if this halftime break can get him going. Would not be surprised to see Sean Miller run a play for him early.
That's Dylan Smith off the screen. Here comes Trier. Going the other way, and Trier, he might have stepped on the end line.
Well, again, NC State defensively just, really being physical with Trier, not letting him go where he wants. And I think it's interesting, Kevin, to start this game. I think Kevin Keats wanted his guys to compete. They wanted to play hard and they wanted him to execute. But now that's changed. They've proven they can play with this team, and the expectations have changed.
Freeman. Boy, he was right at the rim.
Yeah.
Does have free throws coming.
And he wishes he had that one back. But if you're Arizona right there and you're Sean Miller, you're asking, where is our help side defense? I mean, that is so basic. Al Freeman just driving right down that baseline and no one there. And that's the look of a concerned coach to me.
It was a year ago this week when that graduate senior was participating in this tournament. He was with Baylor, though. So This is his second straight year in the battle for Atlantis. Maybe the second straight year winning the battle for Atlantis. Baylor won it all.
Yeah, he's an experienced guy in terms of winning the title here, and so far he's had a nice game.
Ties into...
Done a good job of guarding Alonzo Trier. I mean, nothing easy.
And it's 94 feet.
Yep.
Trier, the junior, finally healthy and poised to participate in a full season. Lets it go with 4 to shoot. Ayton poked it free. Freeman with another rebound. No relation. That's Al Freeman with the basketball. Now Markel Johnson, the sophomore, this is his show now. 9 assists per game the first few games. Dorn slipped, and it looked like that plant foot moved.
Yeah, and we've seen guys slip on this floor all day. But there, if you're Torin Dorn, you got to jump stop. You got to make that solid play. You can drive in that paint, but you have to be under control. And right there, he kind of got a little in between what he wanted to do. That size, it's in the back of your mind. And right there, he kind of just got in between and needed to jump stop and make the simple play.
Kevin Keats' team going to press until the end of this one?
Yeah, that's their identity. That's what they do. And it could be some 2-2-1. It could be some 1-2-1-1. It could be man. And they do a good job of changing it up. Just throwing off, not letting the team get comfortable in that rhythm.
Jackson Cartwright gets it back. High arc. Ayton did an excellent job of not fouling and sticks it.
And if you're NC State, I just don't know what you can do with that. He's just so big. Does a good job of keeping that ball alive, tipping it to himself, finds himself wide open, and knocks down the jumper.
He has 18 points in Nassau, playing in front of family and friends. Got a reported cheering section of maybe 500 folks. Into the corner. That's the lefty, and Sam Hunt strokes it.
And that is just a great play by NC State. They get that ball into the post area, get it swung out, a little swing action, find the open shooter, and again, they counter back to Arizona's punch.
Here's the movement.
When you can get that basketball into the paint and then swing it back out, the percentage of shots you make astronomically goes up. At NC State, playing good offensive basketball there, sucking that defense in, kicking it back out, giving up a good shot for a great shot.
NC State judicious with the threes they've taken. They're 6 of 13. Trier scoops it in, and he's at the line.
Well, that's a great drive by Alonzo Trier, but that's a defensive breakdown by NC State. If you're going to see side pick and roll, he cannot turn that ball screen down. And Al Freeman just gets whipped off the dribble. You have to make him use it. Your help is in the middle of the floor. He drives in baseline. Help doesn't come over. And Trier finds himself at the line with the chance for an and one and the chance to get himself going.
Just right around his man. We talked so much about Eaton. What is the best part about Alonzo Trier's game?
Well, to me, he just lets the game come to him. He's never been a guy that's forced the action, plays within the offense, makes the right play. And a lot of times with superstars, you see guys, you know, he might go for 30, but he took 30 shots to get there. That is not him.
Freeman to the basket, and he's at the line.
How did that ball get through there? What a pass by Al Freeman. Equally good catch there by Leonard Freeman.
This pick and roll with Leonard Freeman.
Well, he threads the needle. That is a great pass.
Field goal is good.
Yeah, it is. And the basket is good. We talked about it all night, Kevin. NC State counter-punching again. Hanging in there. Hanging around to the end of the game. Giving yourself a chance. And they have done a great job. Kevin Keats is going to like this effort.
There's the pressure again. It is difficult to just inbound the basketball in the backcourt.
Yeah.
Trier attacks.
And I think he's woken up. He's got that look there, Kevin, and he needs it.
It's something that Sean Miller said in the locker room.
You know, he came out at the 250. The team comes out at the 250 mark. I have a feeling that halftime speech was fiery.
Probably a little later than teams normally venture out from the locker room.
Yeah. Another interesting thing to talk about there is that's the first time we've seen Alonzo Trier bring the basketball up the floor. He's more than capable of doing that, but he's been a guy where Parker Jackson Cartwright has initiated the offense. Maybe another tactic to get him going here. Get that ball in his hands.
This is important to have Trier for a full season. He's missed 25 games the last 2 years. Yeah. Suspension, broken hands, and Braxton Beverly has his team back up.
I love his game. I mean, he has come out fearless. Whether that's shooting from three, getting in the paint. He's shown that floater twice tonight. And he has given Arizona all they want and more.
Smith plants his feet down and out. NC State with a 3-point lead in the second half. Won just 15 games a year ago. Second season in a row below 500. New coach, new identity. But still an Abdul Malik Abu. He's back for his senior year.
And they have missed him the first 4 games. He puts his shoulder down, drives that right to the rim, and he just muscles Ira Lee. NC State thinking upset.
This field, it's better than a Sweet 16. This is the PK80 to Phil Knight Invitational, and that begins tomorrow. Duke, Texas, Florida, Gonzaga. That's just one half. There are 16 teams out in Portland, and the importance and the impact that Phil Knight has had on the game of college basketball in general, and hats off to everyone involved to bring this type of power to Portland for 1 week.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at Phil Knight, he changed the game. I mean, he changed the way sports are marketed. He changed the way sports are appareled. He's an instrumental guy in the sports world. So I think to have these two brackets in this kind of field, I mean, it's just so cool for college basketball. Like you said, it looks like it could be an NCAA tournament bracket right there. There's so many good teams. Very cool that they can honor him and play in a great venue in the Moda Center out in Portland. Fans out there are great. Support their teams, whether it's college or pro.
Well, speaking of tournament, the talk is Arizona's a Final Four team, maybe a national championship team. And NC State on the other hand looking to get back above 500. And looking for a bit more of a competitive season. Keanu Pinder feeds Ayton and fouled. And this is important who this is on, either Beverly or Yurt 7. And it looks like it is the freshman guard.
Well, that's a great out of timeout play there by Sean Miller. I mean, you have a guy in DeAndre Ayton who is physically just dominant over everyone on the floor, and you drop a play to get him an easy look and get him fouled. And I think as we get down the stretch in this game, we're going to see a heavy dose of Ayton on the block. You know, Kevin, as we look at this box score, I think stands out to me has to be bench points. NC State 20, Arizona 2, and coming into this game, Arizona was the team. Well, now 21-2 after that free throw. Arizona was a team that we thought was going to have the bench that made the difference in this game, and NC State has answered that call.
Abu coming off the bench today for NC State and playing in his first game back at the line.
And that is a grown man drive. I mean, he just puts his head down and gets to the rim. And when he's done that, Arizona has had no answer for him.
Abu is the last member, one of the two on this team that were around for that NCAA tournament a couple years ago. Kevin Keats is looking to turn this team around back in the direction of the NCAA tournament.
Yeah, and this is a good foundation here. I mean, they have competed, they have played their tails off, and regardless of what happens in this outcome, there's no question he wants to win this game. But if you're Kevin Keats, you're looking at this and you're saying, right now, I can build on this. You know, I am all in on these guys. And they have showed him and they have showed us something tonight. They've played a great game.
Top 3 scores from a year ago for NC State gone. One of 3 teams in the conference. Trier. Poked out to Smith. Ayton lines it up. Abu skies for the rebound. He led this team in rebounding the last 2 seasons. Al Freeman all the way.
Man, just another straight line drive. And if you're looking at Arizona as a Final Four team, those are not possessions that you can give up on the defensive end. There is no one there to stop Al Freeman, and we're seeing subs sent to the bench here. Sean Miller cannot like that.
Jackson Cartwright ready to check back in at the point. Back out to Smith. Way strong. One and done for Arizona.
And NC State doing a much better job this half of keeping them off the glass.
Ayton with the swipe. Trier.
You know, that's just too easy. I mean, he cannot have a drive like that to the rim.
This is Sam Hunt left open. Yurt 7 got a finger on it. That's the first missed basket by NC State in the second half.
And that's a fortunate break because Sam Hunt had a great look at the rim right there. And look at that. Look at the post up. I mean, they had DeAndre Ayton right there.
It's going to set the screen. 4 to shoot. Ayton works it inside. Hit. Yurt 7 is questioning whether he was fouled. That is on the 7-foot sophomore. You give Al Freeman this much room, Robbie, then forget it.
Yeah, I mean, and we've talked about this all night. Arizona has just fallen asleep. Oh. Alex Barcelo has to be over there, and it's hard when you get beat that badly. But you got to have somebody over there. And to me, you know, Arizona is a great team. They're well coached. That is a lack of mental focus. That's one of those deals where you know this has been drilled. I mean, they're just from being around good coaches and knowing Sean Miller, they work on that baseline drive. All good teams do. So it is inexcusable when you do not rotate over and at least force an extra pass. You cannot give up a layup at the rim. There are good high school teams do that. That is an absolute breakdown, mentally and physically, for this Arizona team.
So Ristich back in for Ayton. DeAndre exits with 21 points, his new career high. He's just setting it every game this year. Kevin Keats, he'll take Freeman out if he passes up an open look. He wants his graduate senior to attack. Finds Johnson late in the shot clock. Abu is there. Arizona ball. Ristich in double figures. Trier on the spin. Abu was there. And it was last touched by NC State.
And we're seeing just an effort by Alonzo Trier to get to the rim. You know, his jump shot has not fallen tonight, but he is making a very strong effort to get in that paint and make these officials make a call. And that's what good players do. When they don't have it going, they get themselves going at the line.
You were praising Trier earlier about his shot selection, and he said now he's looking to get his.
But this is a time where Arizona needs that. They need him to come out here and score the ball, because really their best offense has been offensive rebounding with DeAndre Ayton controlling that paint.
Freeman plus the whistle.
Well, Al Freeman has come to play. I mean, he gets downhill there, and when he gets ahead of steam, he's incredibly difficult to stop. Nice little pick and roll action, and he hangs and finishes with that right hand. Great job getting into the body there of Dusan Ristich. Getting that contact, draws, that's his fourth foul. So something to keep an eye on. Yeah, and he's headed to the bench.
And Ayton comes right back in.
Yeah, well, you know.
He will not be on the pine for too long.
And again, that's just a luxury that Sean Miller has. You know, I'm going to bring DeAndre Ayton back and put him at the 5 and have Ira Lee play the 4, who is more than capable of getting a lot done on this basketball court.
Arizona with arguably the best 2017 recruiting class. So much depth. And there he is. You just pointed out Ira Lee.
And he does such a good job on that baseline of just being ready to catch the basketball and explode to the rim. Alonzo Trier finds him with a great pass, but Lee with a nice catch and great awareness to just go right to the rim and finish.
First basket for someone other than DeAndre Ayton or Alonzo Trier in the second half for Arizona.
And some of the usual suspects have kind of been quiet here for Arizona. I mean, we haven't seen the guys that we have seen all season, but right now NC State in good shape with Arizona.
NC State up 6 over number 2 Arizona with Robbie Hummel, Kevin Fitzgerald. Robbie, how are they doing it in the second half?
Well, their bench has gotten it done, and I think coming in Arizona with the more heralded bench, but NC State has had guys come off and make huge contributions, whether it's Omer Yurtseven or Abdul Malik Abu. But let's not forget about Braxton Beverly. All 3 of these guys have come in and made big-time contributions. And the bench points you see right there, NC State 23 to Arizona's just 4 points in the paint. Also a major statistic to look at. NC State with 28, Arizona with the massive size advantage, only with 26. And you know, Kevin, every time Arizona has gotten something going, NC State has responded. And they have been a team that's come out and they've just stuck with it. I mean, I think there's got to be something to be said about that.
Well, they suffocated the Wildcats. Arizona has led for 29 seconds. That's it.
Oh, that's an over and back. He touched that basketball.
Freeman, no. Second chance for NC State. Trier clears it. Jackson Cartwright picks up the dribble. Lee looking for Ayton, and there is the open look. He's 7-1, and he finishes.
Well, great awareness there by Arizona, sensing that there's no help side defense and just going right over the top. NC State has to be aware when DeAndre Ayton is down in that block area.
Freeman is getting all of his baskets at the 10.
I mean, he has been able to get to the rim at will tonight. And again, help side defense an issue.
About near all of them are inside the paint. That's a boo. Good defense. He's been good defensively today.
He has been really good. And your 7 came over.
Feeds Trier.
Great
Arizona
pass.
within 4.
And that is Parker Jackson Cartwright making his imprint on this basketball game, sensing the NC State defense closing and finding Alonzo Trier to the rim.
Stolen away. Trier. Timeout, NC State. It's a 2-point game. Defense into offense.
And you can't let Arizona get going, because when they do, they get out in transition. And take a look, Parker Jackson Cartwright finding his man. Alonzo Trier, boom, boom.
2-point lead for NC State, our third quarterfinal of the battle for Atlantis. Arizona goes on an 8-2 run, Robbie. Alonzo Trier attacking.
Yeah, and in the first half, he certainly struggled. I think we saw NC State impact him on the offensive end. But in the second half, we've seen a more aggressive Alonzo Trier getting going to the rim, not settling for jump shots, getting out in transition. And that's exactly what Sean Miller needs from his star right now. Because offensively, they have not been able to generate great offense. With that being said, they have great players. And when you have great players, sometimes in games like this, you need to grind a win out and you need to have them make plays. And in the second half, that's what he's done. Big possession here for NC State. Again, we'll see how do they respond to this big Arizona run.
It's Freeman up top. Arizona coming back. Number 2 team in the country. And Trier drops it down.
Well, Parker Jackson Cartwright gets it going in transition, finds his streaking All-American. And this Arizona crowd, all of a sudden, is a major factor in this game.
Shot blocked. Pinder. Arizona could take its second lead. Into the paint. Jackson Cartwright. Oh, he has 2 free throws. Foul on Johnson. How about this running?
Well, just a great push by Parker Jackson Cartwright. How do you forget about him, Kevin? Just assaults the rim.
There he is. Al Freeman guards him. The bump, no basket. This will be on the floor again. That is the 7th NC State foul, so 1-1 for Trier. 9:13 left.
Yeah, and with the way he's attacked the rim, that's certainly something to keep an eye on. I love the play that Sean Miller called right there. It's a little clear out for Alonzo, get into his strong hand. But the way he's been attacking here in the second half, especially with them in the bonus now, that is a well-designed play. Perfect timing by the coach there.
Five straight years for Sean Miller. 25 or more wins.
And you know, just like that, Alonzo Trier has 17 points. It's amazing. Those great players, they find a way.
14 of those 17 this half.
And NC State is becoming just extremely stagnant.
Dorn knocks down the three.
And again, an answer.
They've been doing that all night.
Yeah, that was just nice little pick and pop action. Dorn pops back, finds himself open, and knocks down the jumper.
The last time NC State knocked off the second-ranked team in the country 3 years ago. But Parker Jackson Cartwright has his team back within one.
And he's had a good second half. You know, he's only scored 10 points, but he's made a big impact on this game, and you're seeing it right there. Hawking the basketball.
And the whistle!
How many times are we going to see Al Freeman get to his right hand? And again, hanging in the air, drawing the contact. He has been nearly unguardable to that right hand. Look at the hang time. It's just a big time finish right there.
Alonzo Trier is saying, just put your hands up. He has finished almost every look at the rim.
And every one of them going to his right hand. He has gotten to that strong hand. And he is athletic because he can hang there, let those Arizona bigs go up, come down. He's still up there and finish.
Oh, this is the matchup too. We're seeing Freeman guarding Trier on this side, the same vice versa. The two stars going at it. Freeman grew up in Charlotte, not far from Raleigh, a few hours away. Transfer from Baylor for his final season of eligibility. Quarterfinals of the battle for Atlantis, and NC State a 1-point lead over the number 2 ranked team in the country. Pinder working that baseline, the block, but a foul.
Well, a great find.
The whistle on Dorn. 1-point game with 7:57 left. Come back. One-point lead for NC State. When you walked in here, you thought you were going to leave with a good basketball game. You might leave with a photo op with the
or
Diesel as well.
Session, yeah.
Can we get one of those hats? What is that? Well, Al Freeman has been spectacular, and Robbie, he's just attacking. They can't stop him in the paint.
No, and he's done a great job of finding his way to his strong hands. And I think you see each time getting to the rim and finishing through contact and over Arizona's bigs. The hang time has been so impressive, and I mean, he has really kept NC State in it as Arizona has made this run. He's answered the bell every time. Points in the paint, still an interesting statistic to look at. Arizona now with 34, NC State hanging tough with 32, but you think about the size differential. NC State greatly undersized compared to this Arizona squad.
And it's not just Freeman. It's been a bunch of forwards for NC State.
I think Abdul Malik Abu has done a good job. I think you've had Torin Dorn make his presence felt on the inside.
There is Abu. Boy, he's got a great vertical. That right knee looks to be okay.
Yeah, it looked okay in warm-ups when he was throwing down windmills. He has some bounce.
He's got a few of those in the game as well. Arizona with just a 2-point advantage. Points in the paint. Ristich still on the bench. Good three. Oh, Hunt saw it go down and out. Jackson Cartwright left it short. Tie up. Pinder has been active. And Abu, he forces that jump ball. Possession arrow back to NC State. This Wolfpack team doesn't look phased like we've got a lot of time left. This is a confident group right now.
No question. And I think as each minute goes by and they continue to hang in here, they gain confidence. And offensively, even that last possession, they got a good shot. They've manufactured offense here throughout the game. And it's mostly been this man right here playing some pick and roll.
Abu gets the roll, count the basket, and there may be a whistle underneath. That would go against NC State. It looks like our basket's going to count. Mike Stewart is saying, yes, count the basket, and then you have the loose ball foul underneath. And that's going to go against Leonard Freeman. That's his 4th. So take a look.
Yeah, we see Abu get that jump shot up, and I mean, to me, that's a blockout. That's not a foul. And if he comes up and shoves him in the back with 2 hands, I'm all for that call. But this is a physical basketball game. That's happened on a ton of possessions tonight.
So Freeman takes a seat. So pardon, that is the 3rd on Leonard Freeman. Couple players with foul. 4 on Dorn for NC State. 4 on Ristich for Arizona. We haven't seen him in a little over 5 minutes, but doesn't matter with DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, what a homecoming game for him. You come back home, playing the Islands, and he has been a force.
They said as a youngster, he was terrible playing basketball.
Well, he was
a 6'8", 13-year-old, and he just stuck with it.
Sure. I mean, a lot of times you have those big kids with size like that. It just takes some time to grow into that body. And that's a smart play right there by Al Freeman. I mean, he's got a young freshman guarding him. You turn down that ball screen, and you draw this foul, and you're going to go to the line right now and shoot a 1-and-1. If you're Brandon Randolph, we talked about it a little bit in the first half, you cannot get turned down on a ball screen. You have to force him off that pick. But a veteran play by a guy that's played a lot of college basketball, and a lot of high major college basketball at that.
Randolph heads to the bench. He was at Baylor in the NCAA tournament, and Kevin Keats talked about that.
Yeah, and what a great find for him. I mean, you've got a guy transferring out of a program that's a perennial NCAA tournament team, a guy that starts for them and has scored a lot of points. I don't think there's a whole lot of guys like that running around on the transfer market.
Oh, Keats joked with us. He was looking down his list and said, hey, NC State's back in the battle for Atlantis.
Yeah, what was he telling us? His golf cart broke, so he was having to check guys going to class because his assistants hadn't been hired yet.
It was a...
Just imagine the head coach of your school running around campus trying to figure out if his guys are in class.
That man is tireless. With that free throw, 16 of 20 for NC State. They struggled just a bit at the line last year towards the bottom of the ACC. Ayton underneath. You're at 7 fouls.
And right now, I think Arizona smells a little blood in the water. I think they see we are going to force feed our big man, and we are going to ride him to the end of the game. Making a concerted effort right there to pound the ball inside.
Sean Miller loses Lowry Markkanen. He reloads with Ayton this season. 26, new career high.
I have a feeling that he is going to eclipse that a few times this season.
You like the ball back in Freeman's hands?
Yeah, I think so. I think, Al Freeman has done so much, whether it's scoring or distributing. You get him into that pick and roll action. We'll see. Here it comes. You're at 7 going to set it. Al Freeman, go make a play.
You're at 7 rolling. He's looking for him. To Beverly. Rebound, Ayton. NC State a 2-point lead over number 2. Trier ties it back up.
What a finish right there. I mean, Abu is there. Freeman is there. There was some contact there, and it did not faze Alonzo Trier.
17 of his 20 in the second half. Abu short. Trier can run. He's got Barcelo and Pinder with him. Doesn't need him. All the way. And Arizona has just its second lead of the day.
And offensively, he is just so talented. I mean, the game looks like it's in slow motion for him.
Freeman bumped on the way in.
We see it. Alonzo Trier getting to the rim, taking his time. He's not in any hurry. So many guys, you see him get around that rim, and it's got to be a quick move, but that little Euro step and go, you can get paid if you're doing that. You belong in the NBA. That is a pro move.
So no points in the first half. Has he just worn down the defense for NC State?
Well, I think, NC State did a good job on him in the first half, but great players, they're eventually going to get going. He missed some shots that he has made this season, and it has not deterred him. I think we have seen him make such an effort to get to the rim. His jump shot's not falling. Okay, I'm going to get to the line. I'm going to get to the rim. I'm going to make these refs make a call here, and I'm going to use my athleticism and my size, and I'm going to get to the rim, and I'm going to make you pay. And he's done just that.
Al Freeman ties it up. He is one off his career high. Out of bounds, it's NC State basketball. There's the press.
Yeah, and there it is. We talked about it in the open. This is what they want to do. They're going to pressure. They're going to get in the full court, and they're going to press you. And just like Arizona does where they pick the point guard up, that pressure, it wears you down. And right there, Arizona kind of falls asleep on the inbound and turns NC State up, or turns Arizona over. I love this pick and roll action that Freeman's got going. He has been so good in it.
Senior from Charlotte bangs it off the window. Boy, Keanu Pinder has been all around the basket. Finds him. And he jams it down. Whoa!
A little big-to-big action there, Kevin. Great pass from DeAndre Ayton. Finds a streaking Keanu Pinder, who finishes with authority.
2-point lead. The finish for Yurtseven ties it up.
And I mean, that's just really good offense by NC State. Torin Dorn coming off an Arizona dunk, gets the basketball, head fakes, gets in the lane, takes his time, dumps it to his big man. Good basketball there. Another good response from NC State.
This is Trier. Lets it go. Out to Freeman. Beverly left wide open. NC State by 3.
He's been fearless all night. And he continues to make major league plays for this NC State team. Think Kevin Keats is happy about his appeal right there? Man, he's made plays.
12 ties, 9 lead changes, 3-point game, Robbie.
Yeah, and what a game. I mean, we have seen it all night, especially in the second half. Both teams going back and forth, and they have punched and counterpunched. And we see the run. DeAndre Ayton returning the favor to Keanu Pinder. On the other end, Braxton Beverly finds himself open. NC State hanging in there.
Last season, Baylor faced Louisville in the Battle for Atlantis championship game. First got through VCU, next had to take on Tom Izzo coached Michigan State squad, and then the big one. Knocking off Louisville, ran through the field, and they win the 2016 Battle for Atlantis. Robbie, who was on that team?
And what is the common denominator? I think it is Al Freeman. And he has made his mark tonight. I mean, he's been their facilitator. He scored the ball. He's gotten in that pick and roll action. And we've had one upset today. Do we have another brewing?
That's a good Tennessee team. NC State, very tough. Up by 3 with less than 4 to go, trying to knock off number 2 in the first month of the season. Trier spectacular in the second half. It's the point guard, Jackson Cartwright, and the rebound down to NC State.
And that time their defense forces Parker Jackson Cartwright into a 1-foot almost fadeaway. A good defensive possession for this Wolfpack team.
Wolfpack led by as many as 9 in the first half. Have led for almost the entirety of this one. A bump and the whistle against Jackson Cartwright. So it's a 1-and-1 for NC State. They have almost commanded the pace of this game from start to finish.
No, they have. They sped Arizona up early in the first half, and as Arizona has settled in, NC State has really been consistent in their effort and in their play tonight. I mean, they have really been poised, and they have done such a good job at answering Arizona's runs. And you look at this guy. I mean, this is a freshman. This guy wasn't even playing 2 games ago, and now he's come out. He has made big-time shot after big-time shot, and he's answered the bell. I mean, he has really stepped up and played a good game.
15 points against Arizona in just his 3rd game as a Division I athlete. From down 2, now back up 5 in a few minutes for the Wolfpack. Trier turning at the rim. There's a whistle. Ristic checks in and is bumped underneath the basket.
And NC State doing everything they can to keep these bigs off the glass, but they're just so undersized. They get a little bit into a rotation right there. The help comes over with your 7, and you're left with a guard blocking out a guy like Dusan Ristic or like DeAndre Ayton. I mean, it's really tough. You are between a rock and a hard place there.
He's got one more chance to get this back to a 4-point game, and Ristic with 4 fouls, but with 3:05 left, you bring the 7-footer back in.
Sure, I mean, he is a big part of their team. And for them to have success, he needs to be on the floor, but almost a little offense for defense substitution there. Going to get Keanu Pinder in for Dusan Ristic.
A senior from Australia back in, has been very active around the rim, both sides. Beverly flips to Yurt 7. Nice touch.
Just an intelligent basketball play. I mean, he read that pick and roll so well. Throws it to the back shoulder of Yurt 7, who catches the ball and finishes with the jump hook.
Freeman on Trier. Ayton comes to set the screen with 8 to shoot. Lets it go. Yurt 7 the board.
Just a really good defensive possession right there. I mean, they had Alonzo Trier bottled up on the sideline, and he throws it back to Ayton, who unfortunately can't knock it down for the Wildcats.
Foul on Jackson Cartwright. Free throws coming for Beverly. NC State hasn't beaten a team ranked this high in almost 3 years. Last time they did it, January 11th, 2015 against Duke.
They're knocking on the door right now. I mean, this has just been a tremendous effort from Kevin Keatts' team.
What do you like about his practice here? How about the energy?
Yeah, I mean, he brought the energy, that's for sure. And I think even when we spoke with him, it was so apparent that he was excited about this group. He might not have the most talented group, but he'll go to war with these guys. You know, he is willing to go in there, and he likes his team. And we've seen why tonight.
Less than 2 to go. NC State on a 13-3 run. Ball is loose. Barcelo whistled for the foul.
I mean, I just can't even say enough about Braxton Beverly. I am so impressed. He kind of struggled his first 2 games. It couldn't have been easy. I mean, you think you're done for the year. Now you're not done for the year. He gets back, hasn't shot the ball particularly well in the games he's played, but on the biggest stage thus far in his career, he has made so many plays tonight.
18 points for the freshman from Hazard, Kentucky.
No, but he's been so solid. You know, you see freshman point guards so often, especially against a team like Arizona, who's going to speed you up, has players. Never once has he looked uncomfortable. I mean, he has been completely in control of what NC State is doing tonight.
Robbie, this is the largest lead for NC State, up 10, and time is running out.
Yeah, it's got to be Alonzo Trier right now. He's got to get something going here.
Into the paint, banks it in. 8-point game with 1:28 left and a timeout. 86-78 lead for NC State. Remember, coming up next, Northern Iowa and SMU. And what's scheduled to tip roughly 9:30 Eastern. And we will complete our semifinal bracket.
What a day. What a day of basketball. I mean, this one coming up, Northern Iowa and SMU. Shake Milton, the American Player of the Year, or preseason Player of the Year.
Right.
Guy that can do a lot of things on the basketball court, but man, what a first day. I mean, this field came in touted.
Yeah.
And it's definitely lived up to the billing. I think even if you look at that Villanova game, Western Kentucky, they gave them all they wanted for a good 30 minutes, and Villanova pulled away. But all games have been competitive here at Atlantis.
We may have our second ranked team fall today. Whistle against Trier. 2 free throws.
Man, that was getting close to being in 5-second territory.
And Sean Miller may have just been teed up.
Wow.
Well, so you've got 2 free throws plus technical free throws. There's 90 seconds left.
Yeah,
it's an 8-point game.
I am shocked.
Here's the sequence. Take a look. Alonzo Trier, he's number 35 in the Navy.
And yeah, he's holding him. I mean, he is following him.
Right.
And it appears that Sean Miller was called for this
he
technical
warned
for
earlier?
leaving
He was
the
warned?
coaching box, and we saw it earlier tonight, Kevin. He'd already been warned. So once you've got your warning, that new rule, these guys have been instructed, you hit that coach with a technical foul.
Strictly enforced this year. They have been given 10 extra feet.
Yeah.
28 feet up to 38, much closer to the half-court stripe.
And this is what, if the NCAA really is serious about enforcing that coaching box, some of these coaches aren't going to like it, but they're going to have to do that. And it's going to be, I think, a learning experience. But if they're consistent with these technicals early in the year, these coaches will not leave that box.
Robbie, NC State is 18 of 20 at the free throw line in the second half.
And we see DeAndre Ayton check back in. Arizona's got to get something going in a hurry.
Ayton the board. Here comes Trier. 1:20 left. Zooms his way down. Rebound to Freeman. 1:10 remaining. Beverly. Oh, dangerously close to the midcourt stripe.
Wow. That was helter-skelter right there. Arizona had him in scramble mode, but NC State able to weather the storm, bring it back out, run some clock.
They've seen that press in
Great
practice.
cut.
Freeman. Oh, he missed. 45 seconds left. NC State looking to knock off a top 5 team for the first time in 3 seasons. There's a whistle, and it's a foul on NC State. Markel Johnson.
Well, Freeman had a chance to put this one to bed right there. And he just, great back cut. Really good offense there by NC State, running the clock down into about the 4 or 5 second range. And he just did not finish.
But you have to keep in mind, Arizona has trailed for almost the entirety of this one.
No, I know.
This wasn't one big run for NC State.
It was not. And NC State put together, oh my goodness.
Big board. There's the 7'1" future lottery pick who heads back to the line. And
Wow.
only a second off the clock. That's big. Back at the line.
Yeah. And NC State's got to finish this game. They've missed some opportunities here. Missed block out there, missed layup on the other end to really salt this one away.
Sean Miller's team is down by 8 with 37.1 left There's your 7. He is fouled out. You can tip your cap. 11 points.
He absolutely battled tonight. I mean, he was big for them just in setting the tone. Leonard Freeman, tough night for him with foul trouble. But your 7 answered the bell, and you know Kevin Keats is proud of that young man right there.
Missed free throw. So now you have Pinder come back in for defense.
No question, he's gonna be the lead man on this press. I think Arizona's gonna try for a steal here in the first 2 or 3 seconds of the possession, and then they're gonna have to foul.
Here comes Beverly, good find into the graduate senior's hands. That's Freeman, and then Barcelo roughs him up back at the line.
And they did a great job right there breaking that press. They handled it. You know, sometimes teams that press aren't always great at handling the press, but right there they were more than comfortable. And I think this is what I want at the line if I'm NC State. He has had a big time night.
7 of 8. The transfer has added an incredible boost for the Wolfpack this season. Under 500 a year ago. Coaching change. Kind of a lack of focus at the tail end of last season. Kevin Keats comes in, brings in someone like Freeman, and NC State charged up with an 8-point lead. 27 seconds left. This is Trier.
Yeah, and he's got to get something going. I think you're getting into that time where you need to get a 3. Not much time left. He's got to get this up. Too much time coming off the clock right now.
Dorn's all over him, and he fouled him with 15.1.
You don't want to stop the clock there if you're Torin Dorn.
And he is looking at the bench because that is number 5. 9 points. He's a solid rebounder too, and now has to sit on the bench.
And I think, you know, if you are Coach Keats, you got to get somebody in there who can block out, because you've got to have this rebound if it comes off the rim.
Well, number 1 in the white, Leonard Freeman back in. He has 4 fouls. Trier to start the year. 32, 30, and 28 points. It was a rough first half, but there he is with 26, and a lot of it in the second half.
Yeah, he has gotten it going in the second half, and I just think it's been impressive to see him attack the rim. He just hasn't made shots at the clip that he has all season, and he's had some good looks.
So Arizona may set up the press after the timeout. NC State sees that press in practice, but Braxton Beverly, a career day. The NCAA initially said he wasn't going to be on this floor this year.
Yeah, I mean, that man deserves this day. I mean, he's been through a lot in the last 6 months, and he has played fearlessly. I mean, he's done a little bit of everything. He's knocked down threes. He's gotten into the paint and made floaters. He's broken the pressure that Arizona's brought from a full court standpoint. I mean, he has just played so solidly, and I'm so impressed with his poise. I'm so impressed with his ability to play against a team like Arizona and come out and play, you know, just like he's playing back at Hargrave Military Academy. I think he's been really solid, and I'm just so happy for him that he gets to do that. Just to be out here. It's great for him, man. It's really great.
10 of the last 13 points for NC State. Beverly has scored him.
You know, you look at him, and he might not pass the look test. He doesn't look like, you know, he's the prototypical college basketball player, but man, I'd take him on my team any day. That young man is tough.
Now it's a 6-point game. There's still 15.1 left, but we're just bringing up this point. NC State, they're the team that presses. So now they're going to see one from Arizona. They see this in practice every day.
No, they do. And, you know, it's going to get flipped on them right here. If you're NC State, though, you just cannot have a live ball turnover.
Looking for Freeman. 11 seconds. They're trying to force that turnover before the foul. And with 10 seconds left, they've got to send Freeman back to the line. Remember, coming up after this one. Goodness, what a game. We've got Northern Iowa and SMU to determine our final participant in the semifinals. The Bad Boy Mowers battle for Atlantis. Kevin Keats was talking to us, the first-year head coach at NC State, said, hey, the good news is we get to play Arizona.
Well, yeah, he said it's a major challenge, but you have to flip it and look at it the other way. It's a major opportunity. And these guys have come out and seized that opportunity. And they're going to take themselves a win back to the next round.
Career high 24 for Al Freeman. Trier, no. The follow, NC State knocks off number 2, heads to the semifinals of the Battle for Atlantis. Kevin Keats' team 5-0.
What a win. I'm just so impressed with the way they played. I'm so impressed with Braxton Beverly. Al Freeman, there's something about being down in the Bahamas, man. He came out and he got his game on in pick and roll, and he played for himself, he played for others. But this is a resume-building win for NC State. And I think if you're Kevin Keats, you're looking at your team right now and you're saying, man, I can roll with these dudes.
It's been a long off-season for this Wolfpack program and its fan base. This is a recharged group with a victory over Arizona. And Robbie, they nearly led the entire way. There's only a couple occasions the Wildcats had an advantage, and they knock off number 2.
Yeah, that's a great win for their team. And we see they advance, and they're going to play the winner of Northern Iowa and SMU coming up next. Should be a great game.
Kevin Keats, he is saluting the Wolfpack faithful behind the bench. For Robbie Hummel, our entire great crew, I'm Kevin Fitzgerald saying so long. NC State knocks off number 2. Next, SMU, Northern Iowa.